How often do we get into a time in our life when it's time for a transition and we're so scared of loss? We're so scared of missing out. We're so scared of all the what ifs that we hold back and we stay too long at the party. I've done it. I've done it many times. And the beautiful thing is that life, universe, God, whatever you believe in, will bring you multiple opportunities for that next step for you. And the way that you'll know that you're fully ready, and I shared a quote about this on Facebook, is that you'll feel freedom instead of loss. But what I would highly recommend is that you don't just let go of one thing and then sit around being sad about it. That as you recognize that something is done, that it's time for something to be over, immediately plan what is next. And it's not to say that we're constantly running and running, but it is to say, what is that space going to be filled with? And be intentional about it. Is that space going to be filled with richer relationships? Is that space going to be filled with travel? Is that space going to be filled with family? Is it going to be filled with friendships? Is it going to be filled with a new business or a new idea? Or is it just simply going to be filled with less craziness and more peace? Is it going to be filled with more intentionality, more journaling, more time in nature? But by all means, if you find yourself in a transition, these happen all the time. They happen with jobs, they happen with family. My daughter just moved out of the house. She's 18 years old. That's a big transition for her and for me. I'm now the only female in my house. I've got four sons and a husband. And that's a big transition. It's a transition from her being more of my daughter and my care, my responsibility, and now more of a friend. And now I'm more of an advisor. And I'm no longer, the referee in her life or the coach or the guide or the teacher. I'm simply there to be with her. That's a big transition. Now I could just feel the loss of her not being in the home, or I could say, well, what does this new relationship look like? So be intentional. Be intentional about where you're going. Be intentional about why you're letting go, about when it's time, and move forward with strength and power.